the Supreme Court ruling on tariffs, and the impact to the $2,000 stimulus check or $2,000 dividend payment, as the president likes to call it. Now, this is a hot button issue and causing a lot of concern across a lot of people, and also a question I've received down below in the comment section a number of times recently, and what I want to discuss for you here in this dedicated video. Now, quick little side note, as all of you probably recognize, this $2,000 stimulus check or dividend payment that the president is calling it is supposed to be paid out of tariff revenues. He's made that very clear. Every time that he talks about the tariffs, he keeps saying we've brought in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we're suspected to bring in trillions of dollars worth of tariff revenue over the next 10 years. Well, if you look at the reports that are out there and the statistics as well as the projections, yes, that is actually true. They're projecting between about $3 and $4 trillion of tariff revenue over the next 10 years. Now, as of right now, the very end of 2025, as I film this video right now, we've brought in about $261 billion of tariff revenue just so far this year, which is honestly quite a bit of money, right? $250 billion in tariff revenues. However, according to some of the projections that are out there, to send out this $2,000 dividend payment to a huge percentage of the population, and the reason I say a huge percentage of the population, we don't know exactly the total number of people that'd be eligible for this because we don't have the parameters around this as far as the income thresholds, as far as who would be eligible. So the range is very, very wide. But as far as some of the projections, they're talking on the low end, anywhere between about $272 billion on the very low end and up to over $600 billion on the high end as far as how much this would cost to send out this $2,000 payment to, again, a huge percentage of the population. We don't know the exact number of people that'd be eligible quite yet because we don't know the specific thresholds as far as income thresholds that they would put in place as far as eligibility. So anywhere between, say, $300 and $600 billion, roughly, give or take a little bit, as far as how much this would cost. So basically, all the money that they've collected so far this year would be paid out at a minimum, plus a whole bunch more. Okay, but point being is this. Any day now, as I film this video right here, right now, to be fair, we have not received the Supreme Court ruling on the emergency tariffs yet, okay? Who knows? Maybe I'll post this video and 5 minutes later, we'll get the announcement out of the Supreme Court. We don't know yet, but any day now, like literally any day, any minute, any hour, we could be getting that announcement out of the Supreme Court as far as the ruling on the tariffs. Now, the main concern that is out there is that if the Supreme Court strikes down the tariffs and says you must, repeal the tariffs and these are not lawful and all the money must be paid back, that's a major concern for a lot of people that are worried that they're not going to be receiving this $2,000 dividend, $2,000 stimulus check. Now, here's something I want to point out. The administration has all of these other avenues up their sleeve to reinstate basically duties on money, or on imports, I should say, coming into this country. So it may not be called an emergency tariff, but they have all of these other ways that they can recreate this money to be brought into the country in effectively, well, it's not going to be called a tariff, but essentially it'll be called these other duties that'll be able to collect this money. So even though the Supreme Court may strike down the tariffs, we don't know yet. As of right now, as I film this video, we don't know yet. But my point being is that whether the tariffs are allowed to stay in place or whether they are struck down by the Supreme Court, the consensus is that the administration has multiple other avenues in which they can recreate the income, the revenue into the United States and paid to the Treasury, that they could recreate this $2,000 payment. So my point being is this. When we get this announcement out of the Supreme Court, whatever it happens to be, whether the tariffs remain or whether the tariffs are struck down, my point being is that let's just say that the tariffs are struck down. The immediate rebuttal about this $2,000 is going to be, there it goes, we're not getting it, we're definitely not getting it, there goes all the revenue, and the president's big plan to send out this rebate. There's probably going to be some time, whether it's hours or maybe a couple days, where all of a sudden, all kinds of people are going to say, it's definitely not happening. There goes all the money, the $2,000 dividend, the $2,000 tariff rebate, distribution, stimulus. It's definitely not going to happen. But the point being is that the administration, if the Supreme Court knocks down and strikes down these tariffs, the administration is going to do whatever they possibly can to reinstate those duties as quickly as possible, just out of the fact of the matter that, hey, you told us we can't. Guess what? We're going to do anything within our power to reinstate this revenue for the United States and the Treasury. They're going to do whatever they possibly can to basically defy the Supreme Court and to bring those duties back into play. Okay, and again, they're not going to be called tariffs at that point. They're going to be called something else, but it's going to be literally the same thing: a revenue grabbing, a revenue generating activity, and putting duties on imports into the country, just like tariffs are doing right here, right now. Okay, so my point being is that when we get this ruling, whatever it happens to be, I guarantee you, whatever happens, there's going to be all kinds of talking heads and all kinds of people suggesting, oh my, that's it, kiss that tariff payment goodbye. We're not seeing that $2,000 stimulus. And again, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I have no idea. The president continues to come out and say that it's going to happen. We don't really know if it's going to happen or not. I mean, it's anybody's guess at this point. The president says it will. There's a lot of other people, economists and all kinds of people that say it's definitely not going to happen. Right now, the numbers don't support a $2,000 payment for a huge percentage of the population. But again, that's just as of right now. Maybe they plan to pay this off over 10 years or something. That's something they could easily do, right? Over a 10-year period of time, it would be about a 10 to 20% profit share of all tariffs that are brought in, again, depending on how much they actually bring in. But over the course of a 1-year period of time, you're right, the tariffs do not have enough money, do not bring in enough money over a 1-year period of time to pay for the $2,000 dividend. However, over a 10-year period of time, yes, it's about a 10 to 20% profit share in the form of a dividend. So it really depends on how you look at it and how long of a time frame they want to use to pay for this, and what is the real threshold on this as far as who is really eligible in the first place based on income. We still don't know. A few weeks ago, actually it was over a month ago now to be fair, back in the early portion, middle or so of November, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent indicated basically incomes under $100,000. I don't think it's going to be $100,000. I think it's going to be significantly less than $100,000 of income for an individual would be my guess to make somebody eligible for this. But again, we still don't know. They have not indicated exact parameters wrapping around who would be eligible for this, other than the $100,000 threshold that the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent indicated back in, I don't know, early to mid-ish November or so, about a month or so ago, give or take a little bit, okay? But my point being is that when we get this ruling out of the Supreme Court, it's going to be a fireworks display for sure. No matter what happens, it's going to be very, very interesting. There's going to be all kinds of remarks about this $2,000 dividend. We don't know if it's going to happen, number one, and if it does, can it really still be paid out of tariff revenues? And if the tariffs are struck down and the Treasury needs to pay it all back, then guess what? The administration is going to do anything within their power to reinstate that revenue, and then that $2,000 is probably right back on the table, okay? So anyway, it's still very much up in the air at this point, but I just want to spend a few minutes here in this video and talk about that, because I've seen some concerned people out there saying, oh, this is it. They're not happening because the Supreme Court's going to strike down these tariffs, and then that's it. The no more tariff dividend, no more $2,000. And I say, well, maybe. We don't know. That's the thing, is nobody knows. The president is still very, very convinced. In fact, I have multiple clips of the president speaking. At some point, I will make you maybe a compilation video of all the clips of the president speaking on this. But he's still very convinced that these are going to happen. He's still really selling it that they're going to happen at some point. Again, we don't know. We just have to go off of what they say. And many people within the administration have also indicated that it's doable, that they're going to happen, and that the administration is very, very committed to actually doing this. Okay, I guess you have to take their word for it. Only time will tell, as I like to say all the time. Anyway, hope this helps you better understand the situation. As always, I will continue to watch everything very, very closely as we get more information on anything coming out right now in regards to your money, your benefits, your finances, Social Security, any benefits administered by Social Security, the $2,000 stimulus, the $2,000 dividend, any money benefits programs, anything like that you can possibly grab or take advantage of. Obviously, I will keep you posted. Dedicated videos, dedicated live streams. I'm here for you. I'm here to represent you. I'm here to advocate for you. Whatever it happens to be, let me know down below. I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can. Otherwise, please, if you're new, subscribe. Please share the video. Big share button down below. Subscribe button down below. Otherwise, have a nice day. I hope this helps you. Happy holidays. I can still say that right now as I film this video. Kind of middle-ish December right now as I film this video. I'll keep you posted. Stay tuned. I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Drop your comments down below. Otherwise, again, please consider subscribing if you have not done so. Big subscribe button down below the video. Please share this video as well. Big share button down below. Otherwise, have a nice day. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon in the next video.